Welcome to The Vault, where we reveal some of the best kept secrets for success. Our show is designed to introduce you to industry professionals in TV, movies, music, sports, and business. Now, our goal is to learn from a wealth of information and use it to realize your dreams. Our next guest is an Emmy Award-winning producer and serial entrepreneur. He hosts an influential business podcast called Live to Grind and has been a guest on over 100 shows. Introducing Brandon T. Adams.
What's up, buddy?
Yeah. Hello.
How you doing, man? It's been a while.
Welcome to The Vault. We're very happy to have you. I know that your time is valuable. You are like zigzagging all over the country nowadays. So.
yes. I'm honored to be on the show.
Well, you are a thought leader in many ways. You are the mentor to like a lot of our crew. They told me your name, and I was like, "What? You know him too?" So I'll talk about that at another time. But anyway, we want to welcome you to The Vault, where you can get further faster. Our show is all about trying to help people realize their dreams, and you're the expert at that. So before we go into like kind of the stuff that's happened recently, I wanted to talk about like your backstory and how you are known as the king of crowdfunding. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so I grew up in Iowa, small town, Iowa. If you guys in Hollywood know where that's at. So I grew up in the ice business. My whole life I've been an entrepreneur. My dad sold packaged ice. And I got to see at a young age what it was like to run a business and sell ice. And so I did that. And then one day I came up with this invention, Arctic Stick, to cool and flavor drinks. So that invention led me to getting into crowdfunding. My last leg of funding for that invention, I did a Kickstarter campaign. And while doing that Kickstarter campaign, I realized I didn't know what I was doing. And also I realized there's a lot of people out there that needed help with crowdfunding. So after doing that, I decided I wanted to become the expert in the industry. I saw an opportunity where things were going. I knew that if I could become an expert in it, it would lead to multiple sales and opportunity and growth. So I spent all of 2015. I traveled the country. I interviewed people for my podcast show. At that time, it was called the University of Young Entrepreneurs. It's now called the Live to Grind podcast. And I would literally drive all the way across. I once drove all the way to LA from Iowa and did a 10-day podcast tour for less than $1,000. I was sleeping in my truck at the time, and I was going on TV, but I would go interview people, learn from them, build a relationship with them, but also learn their expertise in crowdfunding, business, whatever it was. So did the podcasting, and then I wrote a book on crowdfunding called Keys to the Crowd, Unlocking the Power of Crowdfunding. And then I started going on TV across the country, because what I found out is people, when they see you on camera, when they see you on specifically a morning show, they see you as an expert. They see you as this go-to guy. And so like, okay, I can go on TV, I can build my brand, build up my just rapport with everybody. And so I would go, literally, I was going on TV every single week. I was flying to different cities. I was in Reno, I was in California, San Diego. I went on a morning show. Florida, literally all over the country. I did like 40 morning shows that year. And so I did all this to build my brand literally before I was even doing crowdfunding. And then where my career kicked off is John Lee Dumas. He's a known podcaster. He's got one of the biggest podcast shows out there for entrepreneurs. John came on my podcast show, and at the end of the show, I always say, hey, here's what I do. I'm a crowdfunding expert. How can I help you? And he said, I actually have this idea for a book called The Freedom Journal. So long story short, we worked together. 6 months later, we launched The Freedom Journal on Kickstarter. We raised close to $500,000 in a month. And then after that, my career was started. And I started doing crowdfunding campaigns. I mean, some notable campaigns I've done is I crowdfunded, we did the Think and Grow Rich movie. So we made it the largest docudrama in history for that. So we did that. I crowdfunded my own TV show, Ambitious Adventures, with Greg Roulette. And I've worked with Kenji Ehrlich and Candice Michelle. We crowdfunded so many different ideas. And crowdfunding was my expertise that I used to not only help other people, but also to crowdfund my own companies and also get myself into, heck, I got into the Think and Grow Rich movie. I got to be a co-host of a show because of crowdfunding. And so crowdfunding led me to now video, which I was just talking about this the other day with somebody. I mean, we did videos for crowdfunding campaigns. So one of the biggest components for a crowdfunding campaign to raise money is being able to have a powerful video. So when I'm in a lot of the videos we've created, and I realized like, hey, like I want to do more of this. So we started doing more video content, and I started filming myself more, and it led to, well, becoming a TV host. I never saw it coming, but here we are today.
Yeah. But you're awesome at it, and that segues into perfectly your next most amazing accomplishment, which is your show. So can you tell us a little bit about how that got started and all that's, you know, evolved from it?
Yeah. So I've done multiple shows. I did a show with Greg Roulette called Ambitious Adventures, which is on Amazon Prime today. We had first released it on Entrepreneur Network and then went to Facebook Watch, which is a new platform. And then we went to Amazon Prime. And then we're looking at, okay, we're going to do another season. And Greg, we're just both in different parts of our life. And Greg actually just had another kid. And so I decided I wanted to go and create a different show. And so it wasn't until my wife and I now were in Puerto Rico, and we were talking about, hey, what are we going to do next? What's our next goal? What are we going to go towards? And as we're sitting on the beach, we're like, okay, let's travel to different cities. We said 12 cities in 12 months. And then I said, well, why don't we film it? And that day was the idea of what became the TV series Success in Your City. And so fast forward 6 months, we had planned kind of a strategy of the cities and where we wanted to go and everything else. And it was December 27th of, it would have been last year, well, a year before that. So a year ago, we left our hometown in Iowa and we started traveling the country. So we first city was Scottsdale, Arizona, and we went there. And just so you know, the show is about redefining the meaning of success. So we've seen so many different people, and we're like, what is success? Like, what is it really? Like, people think money, there's power, being famous, like all these versions, but what is success to the core? And we wanted to figure this out. And so we just went to a bunch of people in different cities to learn from their stories. Our first story was Shea Hillenbrand. So he played for the Red Sox. He played for the Dodgers before. Two-time All-Star. He left the career making $20 million, and he wanted to go spend more time with
not so good. He didn't do that good then. Okay.
Yeah, he did all right. He did all right. So $20 million. He left his career and he bought a zoo because that was his dream, to buy a zoo. And so long story short, 4 years later, he lost everything. His wife left him. He was sleeping out of his van, and he overdosed on sleeping pills and almost took his own life. And so that was a deep, like a low moment for him. And he made the transition to get up and change his life. And he now is a speaker. He has a nonprofit called Against All Odds. And so we got to learn from him. So success to him now is using his voice to help others find theirs, to share his story and help others, but also help other athletes transition, because athletes and even people in business, sometimes their identity is that one thing they do. And then once you take that away from them, they don't even know how to react. They go in depression. They lose everything. So that was an eye-opening story of success. So after that episode, we went to our next city of Austin, Texas, and that was kind of the eye-opener for us, because we were on a mission to go to 12 cities in 12 months and film 12 episodes. And let me tell you, we self-funding, self-producing, creating, casting, everything. We're the casters, we're the creators, we're all of it.
Everything.
And
all in one.
Yeah, you know what it's like. And so we realized that we weren't going to get 12, but we ended up going through the year and getting 5 cities, and we're living in our 6th city now, but now we've got our home base. So we lived all over the country. We lived in 5 different cities. We filmed 5 episodes. So a 5-part series called Success in Your City. And so Scottsdale, Arizona, went to Austin, Texas. We went to Boston, Massachusetts, Denver, Colorado, and Nashville, Tennessee. And each episode's different. It shares insight into our relationship, my wife and I now, and also from what we learned from these amazing people, from athletes to a guy that was homeless and created an orchestra, to a real estate family giving back to the community, to women empowering other women, and also a musician that went all the way to Nashville to make it big. And it also shows our life, and even the ending, the finale is our wedding. So we created this show. Happy ending. So now what we're doing is we're pitching it to networks, specifically Netflix, and we're working on getting our mainstream distribution deal. And then we're planning out our theater release in the spring. So each city that we went to will do a one theater release and do a premiere. And so that's what happened. It's hard to, looking back at it, it's crazy. I don't even know how we did it. A lot of sacrifice, a lot of work. And I don't know anybody that's quite done it that way, because as you know, most people, they have a concept for a TV show. They shoot a pilot, they pitch it to a network, and then they look to get funding to go film the rest. What we did is we just created it, and we got sponsors along the way, we self-funded, and we worked our butts off. And now, okay, we have the show. Now we're just looking, okay, what network are we going to go with? So
yeah,
totally
but
opposite.
It's a lot easier to buy a show when it's all laid out. And then that way they can, you don't have to even really talk about it. You can just say, instead of me telling you, I'm going to show you, like this is exactly
I'm going to show you. Yeah. So it's been quite the journey.
Why don't you tell me what your definition of success is?
Yeah, so there's many versions. For me, success is mastering my craft and being the best at what I do and using my talents to help as many people as possible. So being the best me and working to be the best me in all areas, as a husband, as in my physical life, for health and fitness, but also I just want to wake up every day and work to do the best I can. And sometimes it's a struggle at times. We all have obstacles in life, but just doing the best I can. So then at the end of the day, or if it could be my last day, know that I gave it all I got. And that is success to me. I mean, if you can give it all you got and literally lay it out in the field and be like, okay, there's nothing more I can do, that's success. But specifically, it's using my talents through video, through TV shows, I do events and education and speaking, using those core talents that God gave me and use that to help more people, to inspire them to find their dreams or do whatever they want, but also help them in high levels, like not just as like coaching them, but working on projects that are raising millions of dollars for big companies that are doing big things. Like last year, a company called ShipChain, we raised $30 million in our ICO, and we were disrupting the transportation logistics industry. We're solving problems. Those are the kind of things I want to work on. I want to work on things that are life-changing. A year ago, I was flown out to X Prize, and the people that are literally doing projects to save humanity and make us live longer. Peter Diamandis, make it where we can live to 150, which is crazy. I got to use my crowdfunding background to consult with these big thinkers. Those are the kind of projects I want to work on, the things that help people in a big way, but also take my background and my experience and just like take it to another level. I believe video is the most powerful way to impact people's lives, to make change in this world. It's because storytelling is the most powerful thing we have. You look at for thousands of years, religions, movements, everything, it's through storytelling. It's communication. And when you can see a video, you can hear it, you can emotionally be attached to it, you can take that and change the world as we have it. So that's why I think video is the most powerful thing.
You don't have to tell it once. With video, it can be retold many, many, many times afterwards. Yeah. In the powerful way that you originally conveyed,
100%. And that's why I'm obsessed with video. It is powerful. I don't know 5-10 years from now what we'll have. I mean, there'll be some other component of virtual reality or whatever it may be, but I believe right now it's one of the most vital tools you can use in your business, but also to make an impact in other people's lives.
So I can imagine you've really seen a lot of adversity. Can you kind of tell me some more stories on the road while you're shooting your show or going through
your filming? So as you probably know, one thing's for sure, nothing's for sure, especially when you're going into shoots. a lot of times things don't go as planned, so you have to do last minute changes, which actually sometimes become better. We had one scene where we were going to do an outside scene on a lake. And the thing is, when we flew in our crew, they would fly in, they'd be there for 4 days. We'd have to get everything we got and they'd fly out. Well, one scene, it was our last day and it was raining. So we had to think, oh, what are we going to do? So we switched it, and last minute we went to a family's home where we filmed a scene. It turned out to be a scene where a girl was playing piano, and it became way better than we imagined. So like going into shoots, sometimes things don't go always as planned, but sometimes it happens for the better. I would say the turning point and biggest obstacle for us is when we went to Austin, Texas. So in Scottsdale, we had some preparation and planning. We were able to find a place, like a mansion, a $3 million mansion that this real estate agent had listed, and it was set up for staging. So they said we could stay there, and we just created a video for them. And so no cost, we got to stay in this mansion. And after that, we're like, oh, we could get this in every city. Well, it turns out it didn't work that way in Austin, Texas. And I also, as a rookie, didn't realize that South by Southwest was going on. So we spent a month in a hotel, literally a month in a hotel, and we're no oven, no cooking, like we had microwave, and it was very difficult. And so Sam, it was a good test for us. We weren't married yet, so as a couple, like we're in a hotel together, and we're like trying to figure out what the next step, and we didn't have our featured entrepreneur locked in, or our person, and it all worked out. But it was the most difficult part of the journey, and we almost quit. We almost said, okay, throw in the towel, but we did it, and I'm glad we didn't. And so that was an obstacle. It's funny because where we stayed in the hotel for a month, the short-term like furnished apartment we got, because everywhere we go, we had to find something furnished, because we had our Tahoe and whatever's in it. It was literally across the road from where our hotel was. Like we could have threw a rock to where the apartment was, and it's like, so we got that, and we filmed the episode. Everything worked out, but that was like, we didn't know. We questioned our own success. Like, do people even care we're doing this? Is this worth it? What are we doing? You know, that feeling where it's like, we're crazy. Like, what are we even doing? And so that was like, after that episode, we realized we need to do this. This is something that can help other people, because these stories are so powerful, so powerful.
Yeah. So I have a question. Your partner in crime, she's not here today, but I want you to talk about what that's like, you know, working with your wife, and, you know, how that helps improve your marriage, but also the challenges with it.
Well, yeah. So
because my wife wouldn't do this. So
well,
maybe I'll cut that part out of the broadcast.
No, I mean, it's definitely it's rewarding, but also it can be challenging. I mean, especially I'm the hardest person to work with. I could never work with, like, like I'm difficult sometimes. And when you know what I mean, it's just but so it can be a struggle, but also it's rewarding. I mean, when we get to create a project together and create a show, I mean, we are the executive producers, we are the hosts, we are the people that make sure it gets funded. And so while we work on that together, it's rewarding, and when you do it together as a couple, it makes it even more. Heck, you look at a network, it's sexier. They like seeing that. You look at the couples now, Chip and Joanna Gaines, like their show, how successful it's been. But it definitely, you gotta sometimes just learn to shut off the business side and find the hey, this is just us time. And I can't say that I've mastered that. Yeah, but that's something
you got some time.
Do.
You just got married, so you got some time here still. So
yeah.
So hey, let's
great.
I want to quickly segue to the next thing. You just recently won an Emmy. I mean, wow, that's pretty amazing. And it wasn't just you; it was your wife and you. So tell me about that. And
double whammy.
Yeah, double whammy right away.
So a year ago, when I was at the Emmys, it was the Suncoast Emmys in Orlando, Florida. So I had submitted for the show Ambitious Adventures, and we walked away with nothing. And talk about, because we got nominated, it hurt because I wanted it so bad. Worked so hard. When you work so hard for something you don't get it, it's like And I said, we're going to get it next year.
Wait.
And
Hold on. While you tell me the story, do you have your Emmy nearby?
yeah, one sec.
Go grab it. Put it in the frame. I want you to hold it while you're talking about it. You know, I want our audience to know, like, this actual episode is going to air on Emmy week. So you are one of our Emmy award-winning guests. So pull it out of the. Oh, there it is.
So
start over. Tell me again how amazing it is to win an Emmy Award. Now that you have it right next to you, you can feel it. You know exactly what it's all about.
It is. I can't even explain it until you have an experience, man. So like, we worked so hard. Like when we won this, like some people win things and yeah, they deserve it, but we sold our house. We sold 99% of our things. I sold a company. We literally went all into this project. I don't know how many more people would be that committed, and we deserve this every bit. And we worked so hard on it. So when they called our name, and so we won an Emmy for the cinematography of the trailer of our show, and then we won a Emmy as producers for the Shea Hillenbrand story in Scottsdale. So it was emotional. It's weird. We heard her name. I was like, it's not even so much even about the film. It's about life, like everything you went through in life just to get to a moment like that where you can say, hey, I'm an Emmy Award winner. It's more than just the project, more against video, the show. So got it, went on stage. Like I have the clip of me sharing, and it's life-changing. And so it changes how people look at you. Everybody takes you a lot more seriously. And they're like, whoa, like this, you're not just like creating a TV show, you're creating Emmy Award winning material. So it feels good. And I mean, don't just go win an Emmy and quit, because it's not over there. The work just begins. But I will tell you, this is this totally right here. Like so our executive producers are Jeff Hoffman, co-founded Priceline.com, and he actually executive producer of the movie Cabin Fever, if you ever seen that. And then also Kevin Harrington, the original shark on Shark Tank. So they both, like when they saw that we won, they're like, whoa, can we get them? And they were just so excited for what we had done. It really, when you have individuals like that are like, whoa, it completely just opens your eyes. So to answer your question, it feels great. It's not easy. Some people will go their whole life and not win these. Because what you got to do is you submit in categories. It has to be high quality, and it goes through a judging. So if you pass the first round, then you're nominated. Well, then you go through a whole next round. And even if you are in the category, like you may not even get it. So we go to an event, there's 1,000 people there. And of that, 100 and some win. So your chances are slim. I'm very thankful and for the opportunity, and it's possible. A guy from small town Iowa,
but
and
think
never
of it
did
this
TV
way.
producing.
I mean, I know you know this, but what's really amazing is you are now one of the best in the world. I mean, not that the trophy is going to solve all your problems, but I do think that it's a great reward for all the sacrifice that you told our audience of what you went through. And I can definitely empathize, you know, like you said, selling your house, selling everything you got, living in an unfurnished, you know, just 4 walls. That's all you need. You know, you don't even need a bed. You're laying on the floor. Like when I was working with you, you were on the couch, you know, I mean, I
was on the couch.
It's all about hustle, you know, and you were, you have 2 modes just like me. One is fast and the other one is faster. And then the second, you stay still just like me, fall asleep. So yeah. I love the hustle. I love the grind. And, you know, the last question, I have 2 last questions, but the main one I have for you is, you know, once again, our show is called The Vault. Can you tell our audience what are your best kept secrets that live in the vault?
My best kept secrets. You know, for advice or just, yeah, I guess say advice. I'll tell you this, best kept secrets. We're all human, you know, we all have obstacles. Like, I don't care who you are, A-list celebrity, Emmys, Oscars, whatever. And after interviewing from homeless people to billionaires, celebrities, I've got so many perspectives. what I believe success in his life is your own version, what you believe success is. Success is what you make it. So many people think it has to go based off of society. Like if I make money, then I'm a success. If I have a college degree, then I'm a success. No, success is what you make it. So first, figure out what you want in life. What is your best version of success? If you don't know it yet, learn by doing things, trying things. Then once you figure it out, focus on that to achieve your own version of success. And that fulfillment and that growth is what will ultimately make you happy. It won't be, I mean, the money helps to get things, but alone, hearing from billionaires, some that are very unhappy and some that are like, hey, the most important part of life is your relationships, your experiences, and how you use your God gifts to give back to others. So that would be one thing, just to encourage the audience to learn about success. And again, remember, we're all human. I'm still, like, as you win an Emmy, you go through a TV show, like, it's still a grind. Like, it's still life things going on. And then just for life, my best advice is go read the book Think and Go Rich by Napoleon Hill. That book completely changed my life when I read it when I was 21. I'm 29 now. And the quote, whatever the mind conceives and believes, the mind achieves. It's whatever your mind really does conceive, and what if it does believe, if you can actually believe it, eventually it will happen, and your thoughts become things. The things that you think about on a regular basis, good or bad, is what becomes. So if you think negative, you're going to get negative results. If you think positive, you'll get positive results. So the mind is the most powerful thing we have, and I believe anything is possible if you set your mind to it. Jim Carrey is a great actor, and now he's actually got a lot of wisdom, even though he doesn't act anymore. Jim Carrey used to sit up on the hill overlooking Hollywood, and he had a $10 million check in his wallet. And he told himself he was a great actor, and he rendered services of acting, and he had the date on his check for a certain date. It said $10 million. And he believed in his success. And eventually he became one of the greatest actors. And he even said this on a show once, about this story. And it was Dumb and Dumber that ultimately made him that $10 million. And then he became one of the greatest actors. So anything's possible. Visualization and mindset is the biggest thing to get whatever you want in life.
So that Jim Carrey story, I love that story. He also went through a lot. He was homeless, living in a van. And, being able to manifest is very important. And like you said, if you have the right belief system where you can be positive and, you'll weather the storm. And it sounds like you've been able to manifest your success story, and this is just the beginning. So the last thing I want to ask you is, where can we find you on social?
Yeah, so
online. Where can we find you online?
Social, anywhere on social. It's Instagram, I'm active anywhere. It just at Brandon T. Adams, my name, Brandon T. Adams. Or if you want to follow a journey, I highly suggest you go to our Instagram page for the show, Success in Your City. Just go to Success in Your City Show. You can look on the page there and see our updates. We got pictures from the whole year, like showing out our journey and everything else. But connect with me. Snap me, Instagram me. I'm always looking to help in any way possible, and love to invite you to join our journey as we travel across the country.
Well, we wish you the best of luck on your journey, and hopefully we can collaborate on our own, merged pathway at some point. There's a lot of things, just talking to you right now have sparked some ideas in my head of how we can definitely go further faster.
So thank
you for being a guest on our show. I want you in person in the vault when you come visit LA. And go for the gold. Love it. All right, that wraps it up, everybody. That's the vault. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.
See ya.